Hi, everyone. My name is Jillian Sitar, and I am the Senior Higher Education Program Manager at Schoolhouse Connection. I'm here with my colleagues, Jordan and Rashonda, our Director and Program Manager of our YLS, our Youth Leadership and Scholarship Program, to role play what an unaccompanied homeless youth documented interview by a financial aid administrator can look like. But before we get into that, why would a student go to a financial aid office for this documented interview?
Yeah, thanks, Jillian. So, if a student is an unaccompanied homeless youth, which means that they're experiencing homelessness and not in the custody of a parent or guardian, or if they're at risk of homelessness and self supporting, which means that they may lose fixed, regular, and adequate housing in the near future, and they're not receiving support from a parent or guardian, then they need to have an unaccompanied homeless youth determination. These determinations can be made in writing or through a documented phone call. This determination allows unaccompanied homeless youth to be considered independent, which means that they don't need to include parental information on the FAFSA. There are certain people and programs, some that are new as of October 2022, who can provide determinations, and that's listed on the next slide. If the student cannot get a determination from any of the individuals that were listed on the previous slide, then the financial aid administrator must make the determination through a documented interview or a written statement from the student.
Thanks, Jordan. And this is really important to know that financial aid administrators have this responsibility and is now in the law from the FAFSA Simplification Act. Since we know that so many of our students might not have been identified in high school, or they might not utilize shelters or programs. I also want to reiterate that the determination process for unaccompanied homeless youth is different and distinct from professional judgment. So now that we know why a documented determination interview takes place, we're going to go ahead and jump right into role playing. So Jordan is going to be the role as a student, and Rashonda will play the role as a financial aid administrator. I turn it to you both.
Hi, Jordan. Thanks for meeting with me today. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing okay.
We're meeting today because I noticed on your FAFSA that you marked that you're an unaccompanied homeless youth, but you aren't able to provide a determination. As the financial aid administrator, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Great. Can you share with me where you've been residing since July 1st of this year?
Since July 1st, I haven't stayed in one place in particular, I guess. At first, I was with my aunt, but it wasn't the best environment and it was really hard to get to school. So I've been, I guess, couch surfing since then. I stayed at a friend's house for a while, but then I couldn't stay there anymore. And so now I'm staying at another friend's house and I've been there for, I think, like the past 3 months.
Okay. If you weren't living with friends, where else would you go?
Honestly, I don't know.
What about your parents or guardians?
That's not an option for me. It's not safe there. And to be honest, I would rather live on the streets than go back to living there. Living with any family, for that matter, is just not an option.
Okay. Was anyone at your school ever aware of your situation, such as a counselor or a school social worker or a homeless liaison?
No, I didn't really want anyone knowing about it.
Okay. Well, thank you for being open and sharing that information. I imagine it's not easy sharing these kinds of details, but it is very helpful. And from what you've told me, you are an independent student due to being an unaccompanied homeless youth, and I can make that determination for you. Once I make the determination, we will be able to process your FAFSA and you'll be good to go.
Okay, well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you both so much for role playing out what a documented interview can look like. So just as a reminder, financial aid administrators should focus on if a student meets that McKinney-Vento definition of an unaccompanied homeless youth and not why a student is experiencing homelessness. Financial aid administrators can use this template to make those determinations. And for more FAFSA resources, you can see here. All right. Thank you so much.